This just in. It's me again, Margaret. Hee hee hee. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, let's go again.
This is the Sports Timeout Podcast with Jensen Maydew, Tony Caranco, and your host, Wes Underwood.
And welcome to the Sports Timeout Podcast, brought to you by Jeffersons. Free fried pickle Fridays, and be sure to head over for all this season's MLB primetime games, and be sure to finish out March Madness over there. Women taking on tonight, and the men tomorrow. Final Fours going on. Got it. Go see Billy and his crew. Get some wings, grab a drink, celebrate with your friends this April. And yeah, then while you're at it, go check out Robert's Integrative Dentistry in Joplin. If you're looking for a brighter, straighter smile, yeah, or you just want to look fresh, be sure to schedule your appointment today at 417-622-0404. Give Blake and his crew a call. And last but not least, don't forget to check out TeeTime in Webb City. Be sure to reserve your spot to play some golf or pickleball. And starting soon is happy hour from 2 to 6 p.m. on Monday through Friday. You'll be able to get $2 off drafts and specialty drinks. And they also have tournaments coming soon as well. So don't forget about the half price Tuesdays, though. And if those don't intrigue you, get a nice coffee like me. Go enjoy the rest of March Madness that is now in April. And yeah, don't be a fool. Get on over to TeeTime today. And yeah, reserve your spot now. Wes Underwood, Clint out, Tony and Jensen out, Sam to join us in soccer in a little bit again. But yeah, hopefully everything is going well for you guys this week. And before we get started here, make sure to hit that subscribe and follow button on YouTube. All right, we'll get right to it. First up, we'll talk NCAA, and that's brought to you by our newest sponsor, Black Eagle Apparel. They do custom apparel and jerseys for any team, any sport at the best prices. Go check out their website at blackeagleapparel.us. Subscribe to their email list and get 25% off your next purchase. So head on over there. Taylor and his guy Alex got things up and going, and yeah, make sure to support them and get your things there. Okay. That being said, we'll move on in, and man, we'll talk women's side Final Four. UCLA, UConn. It was almost all the one seeds in both sides. What, has that ever happened? I don't know. I don't feel like it has. I'll have to look that stat up sometime this next week and get back to you guys. But we have the 1 and 2, UCLA and UConn, which I think UConn should have been a 1. And then, especially, well, maybe not over USC, but I don't know. I don't know. I mean, UConn dominated, but you're without Juju, and they were dominating teams with Juju in, and then they went up against Kansas State. I mean, USC versus Mississippi State. Okay. All right. Kansas State, a little bit better of a team, a lot more tougher of an opponent. And you start out with UNC Greensboro, 71-25 blowout. Then you have the game against Mississippi State, and then the game against Kansas State. So, I don't know. UConn, I think, would have probably handled the pressure a little bit better. But UConn, the only 2 seed, men's and women's, this postseason to make it into the Final Four. So, UCLA, UConn, well, let's get to it. UCLA, 14 years ago, Gino asked if they could fly across the country to watch UConn's team practice during the NCAA tournament. And yeah, well, that was Corey Close. And Yeah, it's crazy. He's the master teacher is what she had to say, and well, now they're going up against each other, and it's going to be fun. UCLA, we are at 34-2. UConn, 35-3, respectfully. And I mean, look, I don't know. I This is a tough one. Matchup predictor has UConn winning against UCLA. I like Buckner's. I should have gone with her in my original bracket, but UCLA could do some stuff. On their side of the bracket, UCLA is put up against LSU. They edged out LSU. I really did. That's who I had winning. Okay. I had UCLA pushing through or LSU pushing through, but UCLA had a decent game against Ole Miss. They put up some good points on Richmond and Southern. They dominated Southern. So LSU, though, I thought had a very dominant performance against Florida State. 101-71. I felt like that was their statement game. They had been averaging 100 points. I mean, they went up against 14 San Diego State, 103-48. And then LSU went up to Florida State, playing the states here. Yeah, I don't know what happened to them. I mean, 103, 101, and then they go play UCLA, and I guess they met their match. Kudos to Grand Canyon, by the way, against Baylor, putting up 60 on Baylor. That was pretty impressive for a 13 seed early on in that bracket. Didn't really get to talk much into that, but that's pretty awesome. But UCLA defeats LSU, and that's how we got into where we're at. And I did have South Carolina beating Duke on the women's side, and I did have Texas as well. I had Texas going in, and it's insane at how accurate the women's side is compared to the men's, and how many more surprises you can get on the women's side or men's side than the women's. And it's just sorry, just texting my friend here. Get to that later in the show too. But super excited for him, by the way. Speaking on March Madness, can't wait. Um, but yeah, South Carolina, Texas, UCLA, UConn. My predictions here: South Carolina has done their thing all year, and they've done what they're supposed to do. Texas done their thing all year. It's a hard matchup. 35-3 for Texas, 34-3 for South Carolina. Man, it's impressive at the resumes. And South Carolina has done a ton of good stuff over the last few years and has clearly earned a 1 seed over the years and including this year. UCLA and then UConn. I really thought UConn would get it at 35-3, but you know, overtaken there. So, well, it's crazy. My prediction, though, back to that. Championship, I've got UConn moving in. I'll take that percentage for the Huskies. Okay. And, man, South Carolina and Texas. It's going to be fun. I'm gonna edge South Carolina. Texas might be strong enough, but gut tells me to go South Carolina, and it's gonna be UConn, South Carolina, and then bold prediction on the championship. LSU's out for me, so I know my bracket was busted, but UConn. UConn wins the national championship. We'll see. We'll see. All right. Now we head over to the men's bracket. All ones. It's like that person that just picks the one to go all the way, and then boom, it happens. Oh, Auburn, Florida, Duke, Houston. Duke set to win. Florida set to win. I'm excited. Okay. And what's going to happen tomorrow night is going to be phenomenal. I can't even imagine what's going to happen here. Um, predictions on the games. Auburn, Florida. Man, Auburn, what a year. 34-4. Or, excuse me, 32-5. Florida, what a year. 34-4. Broom has that elbow injury. We all thought it was broken. I personally haven't heard anything. Let's read in on it a little bit. Is it a fracture? Is it a. I'm not finding anything here, but Auburn in the conference. Good for them. Good for them. Way to go. That's awesome. What a turnaround this year for them. And tickets for this one going as low as $228. Walter Clayton Jr., that's going to be a fun matchup. Broom and Walter Clayton Jr. Walter Clayton Jr. against Mizzou was just something else. Broom against Mizzou was just something else. And those are the two games that I watched both of these teams this year. I'll admit I didn't watch a whole lot for Florida and Auburn. But two big powerhouses, the top two teams in the SEC going up at it one more time. One more time. And it's crazy. Crazy that it ends up being this matchup. But 85 points a game for Florida, 83 points a game for Auburn, 47% field goal percentage. Florida holds a slight percentage higher in rebounding, 41-37. Assists are pretty good on both ends. 4-game winning streak for Auburn, 10-game winning streak for Florida. Oh, man. This is going to be a fun one. This is going to be a fun one. But who I pick here, I'm not a huge fan of Broom, okay? I'm not a huge fan of Broom. I'll take Walter Clayton. So we'll go, guess that puts me with the Gators. Going with the 42% here. 42%. All right, other side of the bracket, Duke and Houston. Oh, man. I knew Duke would be back this year. 35-3. Houston 34-4. Houston, Big 12. I mean, yeah. Texas Tech, BYU, Arizona, Kansas fell down to the bottom tier there. Kansas State fell down to the bottom tier this year. BYU stepping it up, man. Doing what they did. Duke's the favored team here. We got LJ Cryer, CJ Flagg, 15 points a game for Cryer, 18 points a game. A little bit different on the stat lines here. Houston's at about 74 points a game. They're on a 17-game winning streak. Duke's on a 15-game winning streak. That momentum going into the March Madness is like the last half of the season. Yeah, if you're on that momentum and you're riding in, that's what it's done. And look where they're at. Both of them are number one seeds on that. It's crazy. It's crazy. Houston 74 points though. Duke 83 and almost 84. We'll go 84. It's close enough. 10-point spread there. Field goal percentage for both teams pretty close, 45-49 in favor of Duke. Rebounds pretty close, 36, so 37-38. 37% for Houston and 38% for Duke. Assists, I mean blocks, you name it. Defensively, Houston's got it. Offensively, Duke catches fire and they're going. Cooper Flagg, 48% field goal percentage this year. Cryer with that 40%, but Cryer at the line for free throws, 91%, and Cooper Flagg, 83%. So those are the two guys that are going to have to be stopped, and whichever one can be stopped tomorrow, I feel like that's going to be your team. Whoever's got the better game plan on defense, I feel like is going to win this because both of them can score. We know they can. I mean, let's look at the tournament here so far. You've got Duke putting up around averaging about 90 this so far. Had one game at 100 against Arizona. But yeah, all their games so far, averaging about 90, outscoring their opponents really by probably about 15. Yeah, about 15. Houston, on the other hand, 30, 10. Yeah, 2 over Purdue, and then 19 over Tennessee. So they've been sporadic. I don't know. It's going to be an interesting matchup here on that side. I like Florida over Auburn. I like the upset there. A lot of people have Auburn, but also a lot of people have Florida too. Like, it's crazy how evenly split that matchup is. Um, Duke, you know, Coach K, in respect, I liked everything that he did. I'm not a huge Houston fan, so let's go Duke here. Duke and Florida, national champion out of that. Man, it's hard. It's hard. As much as it pains me to say, I don't like Florida here. I'm going to go Duke as my national champion. National champion. All right, moving into the NBA briefly, and then we'll touch MLB briefly, and then, yeah, soccer talk. But yeah, Cleveland Cavaliers, NBA playoff shaping up. Cavs, Celtics, pretty much everybody in the Eastern Conference has been decided on being in. The Raptors are gone. The Nets are gone. 76ers are out. Hornets, Wizards, they were out a while back. Now we're just seeing who gets the 7 through 10 seed. Cleveland, Boston. Honestly, I guess with the rest of the 6 games left, Boston could clinch the 1 seed. Cleveland still hasn't secured that in the Eastern Conference, but it's just between those two. And then the 3 and 4 seed could swap if the Pacers were to end up winning out and New York lost 3. Pacers could quickly take that back. Man, Pistons would have to win out to get the 3 seed. I don't see that happening. Bucks, the best the Bucks could do is get the 4 seed if Indiana ends up losing out and Milwaukee were to win out. They would get the 4 seed. So right now, not really there. 7 through 10 seed, same story. Chicago with 6 games left. Only, 3.5 out from the 7 seed. So Chicago could potentially host. All they have to do is get a 7 or an 8. They've got Miami and Atlanta in front of them, stopping that currently. So I'm not too thrilled with my Bulls, but I'm hoping that they gain some momentum. Currently on a 1-game winning streak. Let's see. On the Western side, Oklahoma City Thunder, they've got that locked in. The Rockets, they've got that potentially locked in. The Rockets have to win 1 or 2 more to solidify their number 2 seed. Lakers are creeping. Lakers are creeping in. And the Nuggets. So if the Nuggets can win out, they can get the 2 seed if the Rockets decide to lose. The Warriors, if they were to win out, they could currently grab the 2 seed if the Lakers and the Nuggets lost as well. And the Timberwolves. So the top 6 teams, no. Top 8 teams can currently grab the 2 seed. The Rockets are in the postseason. But, yeah, it's crazy that can happen right now. And then San Antonio, Portland, and Phoenix are still fighting to get in. I watched the Phoenix Suns, and I went to a game out there a couple weeks ago. What Booker and Durant can do, I'd be scared. Kings, watch your back. Mavericks, 6 games left. A lot can happen. It's a very thin table. That from the 8th seed all the way up to the 2 seed could potentially, currently, at the moment, take that. So we'll see how that works out. But yeah, hit me back in about a week or so. I'll give my playoff predictions for the first round. Man, so next week's episode. Moving over to the MLB, we'll talk standings there. And wow, beginning of the season, I would have never thought the Toronto Blue Jays would be 5-2 and in the lead of the American League East, but they are. Right now, the American League East is led by Toronto, Tampa, New York, Boston, then Baltimore, Kansas City, Detroit, Cleveland, Chicago, Minnesota. Chicago, dead last in the league last year. They're all tied at 2 and 4, and the Royals are in first place. No games back. The Twins are the only team that has not played a team in the division, I believe, and they're a half a game back. Interesting. Rangers, Angels, Athletics currently. The Braves are the only 0-7 team. Yeah, Rockies are 1-5. So the Braves are currently the laughing stock of the league. So lots to pay attention to here in the MLB standings. Shohei doing what he does. Yankees doing what they do. Excited to see where the MLB season goes. Super excited. But yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to get out and watch some baseball this season. So, but that's where that's at. St. Louis Cardinals, like I said, currently in first place over the Cubs. That's going to be a fun one. They're up by half a game. I think it's going to come down to St. Louis and Chicago this year. I really do. In the Central, Philadelphia and Miami Marlins and the Mets. I think it's going to come down to those three fighting for the East in the National League. Philadelphia is off to a strong start, 5-1. And then the Dodgers and Padres. Not very many people talking about the Padres being 7-0, but they're all talking about the Dodgers being 8-0. Now, I guess it's because the Dodgers are 8-0 after winning, but it's crazy. That's going to be fun. I don't think the Rockies will do anything there. I think it's going to be the Diamondbacks, the Giants, the Padres, and the Dodgers just duking it out until the end of the year, unless something big happens. So, but yeah, that's my talk on the MLB. And coming up next, we're going to have some soccer talk, and we'll be right back. So, heading into that here in just a second. Going to have Sam Luden. And yeah, can't wait. Sam, Luden, and Hunter coming in. So let's get to that. We'll take you there now. And now we talk soccer, and that's brought to you by the Corner Kick Indio Show. Be sure to stop by the Corner Kick located at 1411 Blue Oak Lane, Sweet Sea, Neosho Mo. They have the largest soccer store in Southwest Missouri, Northwest Arkansas, Southeastern Kansas, Northeastern Oklahoma. Be sure to check them out Tuesday through Sunday for your football needs, and we're right in the middle of that, guys. Don't know if our audience can tell. I mean, soccer's going strong right now, so excited for that, and excited to see you guys come home. And we'll go ahead and talk Comets FC first, as well, you guys begin your inaugural season this year, and now we're moving into Joplin this week. We'll get to that here in a minute, but yeah, we got Sam Luden Gonzalez coming back this week, and then we add in Hunter Gillum. How are you guys?
Doing well. Thanks for having us on, Wes.
Yeah, no problem. Exciting times. I mean, as I mentioned, guys start this season, get that opening win. Then you get to go 2-0 now. Lots to talk about. We'll kind of highlight some of the moments and guys, well, talk about your match that you guys went up against Ozark United last week. What mindset going in was 3 more points is what you guys kind of told me on the table. You guys accomplished that. What kind of helped lead to your 2-0 start on the season?
Yeah, I think the big thing going into the game with Coach Rob and I was to keep everybody level-headed, take them one game at a time. It can get it's a good thing to have that players get confident.
Yeah.
They play better, especially with your front three. You want them scoring goals and playing with confidence. The flip side of that is having the attitude of thinking because you showed up, you're going to win. You always have to keep players' mindset that we earn everything that we get every match. And we dealt with that a little bit in the first 20 minutes or so. I think the guys were really hyped and ready to go at the game. And because of that, we didn't play very calm and composed for a while. I'm trying to force some things, but I'll pass that on to Hunter plays in the CDM,
Yeah.
and then Luden. Nobody has a better view of the field than Luden playing goalkeeper, so I'll pass that to the guys.
Yeah, Hunter, go for it.
Yeah, just kind of touching on what Coach Sam said. Our main goal coming into the game was just to make sure we got 3 points at the end of the day. One thing I told a lot of the guys when we were in the circle pregame talk, no one really cares about the 3 points last week at the end of the day. We have 10 games to play in the season. We want to finish with 30 points. If we finish on 3 points, just because we beat Tulsa Athletics last week, if we finish with 3 points at the end of the season, it's not going to really matter who we beat,
Sure.
because we're not going to really get anywhere with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, a little bit of it's still trying to figure each other out. We got a little bit of more of a head start than quite a few teams. We've been practicing for, quite a while, but there's still just, some things we're trying to work out in a live action game, going full speed, the intensity of a game's a lot different. So
Indeed.
working out those kinks and trying to be the best version of the team we can be.
Luden?
Yeah, I think like Hunter and Coach Speck talked a little bit about, it was definitely, we talked last week about the shutout and what that meant to our team defensively,
Yeah.
and especially with the leadership we have back there, with the experience that I have going into it. With the experienced back line and a lot of experience on our team, it gave us that confidence that, we can continue and consistently do this. The defense is going to win us championships. If we continue with this, if we don't concede, we can't lose games. And so, yeah, like Coach Speck said, every game we want to get 3 points, and it's not going to be, we're playing UPSL, and it's not easy games. Every game is going to be a challenge.
Yeah.
Like he said, I felt it was first 15, 20 minutes. We were just, I would say the game was just a little bit all over the place. No one really controlling it as it should have been. But once we started playing, we ended up, the game itself talks for what the score was, and it could have been more. But we did finish once we started playing our style and possessing the game more. But back there, back line, first 20 minutes, there was a couple of times, just communication with the defense and just being smart, doing the right things that we train at training and what we're, coaches are asked of us to do. And especially, like Coach Speck says, I get the best view. I have the best seat in the house.
Yeah.
So just, again, it was an overall great game, from our defensive to our front line. But yeah, we scored. It was 3-0, and like I said, we could have scored more, but we're happy with the 3 points. And every game is going to be a challenge, and so we look forward to the season.
And Hunter, back to you. We kind of go off of their perspectives there. Now, when you're on the field, how often, because you coach too, how often does that coaching aspect kind of kick into the back of your head when you're out there playing, or does it?
Yeah, I would say almost borderline too much in a way. Sometimes it's hard to turn from coaching during the day, and then at night I'm going to training or a game with Comets, and trying to flip that switch and kind of the type of way you're talking to people, and the advice you're trying to give.
Yeah.
of course, I'm trying to use my experience, the things I've gained, playing collegiately, playing this team, playing that team, and helping out some of these younger players and helping them think critically about things that are happening on the field. Because that really is, when I coach at Crowder, and it's something I tell the guys a lot. You've got here because of your technical ability, because of yourself as an individual player. Now the next step is making the right decision at the right time. How quickly can you make it, and how well do you execute it?
Yeah.
So when you're playing these higher level games, it's very important to stay organized, stay disciplined. Kind of think ahead. If I go here, what's this going to open up? What gap? Attacking wise, where are we going to have the best opportunity to go forward? Defensively, where are we going to be vulnerable if this ball turns over? So I'd say, being right in the middle of the field, I feel like I take a pretty big responsibility in helping to organize and coach per se.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Good perspective there. I mean, sometimes you don't even think that, and how many people have coached in the past or in a league like this that do currently coach, and they're just out there playing. So yeah, I mean, that's awesome. But all right, so you guys end up with another lead at the half this week. What was the message, Sam, to the team this week as opposed to last week's?
This week, man, we talked. There was a lot to talk about at halftime. There was a lot of this game had a good fair bit of football drama in it, so to speak. I mean, there was probably 6, 7 yellow cards and a red card. And I think all of those were in the first half.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if there was a card. Hunter, I think, got a card in the
I
second half. Yeah,
just
yeah, which should have been on Sean, but
yeah.
that's all right. Um, so there was there was a lot of emotion on the field. It was a bit of a derby match, being that we're so close together. There's only been an hour that separates the two teams.
Yeah.
Um, Two competing clubs. Ozarks Academy is Sporting Arkansas, and ours, of course, is Comets, who are both located in Arkansas. And so there's a little bit of an added energy to it, I guess, which is fun. It's
Yeah.
good. Derby matches are kind of the best thing in football. It's always really doesn't even matter where you're at in the standings. It's still something really to play for, a pride thing. So I think that's something that'll be fun to watch grow as the seasons go on between the two teams. The big message at half was I felt myself and Coach Rob felt like we weren't utilizing our center attacking mid, George Guevara, enough. And Domi checking in. Too many balls were going too early in the final third
Yeah.
from our defensive third, instead of us utilizing our middle third to then break into the final third. We've got two guys on the wings in Silas and Quinn that are just fast. And they're threatening. I mean, Silas is left-footed. He's actually kind of a cool bit about the whole setting up in the UPSL was to create a platform. We talked a lot about creating a platform for players to showcase their talent, and we've got two guys from the UPSL team, both play a Crowder under Hunter, that have just signed with USL2 team Oakland. Lou, I'm going to get this wrong. Luden used to play for them,
County.
Oakland County,
Okay.
up in Michigan.
Oakland County
Is that right?
FC. Yep.
Wow.
Detroit,
Yep.
Michigan.
So UPSL, USL2. So they're using us as a springboard, and we couldn't be more excited for them.
Yeah.
And we're going to use them for all they're worth till they go, and then wish them best and support them along the way, and be here when they come back.
That's
Some
awesome.
great experience and exposure for them. What you were talking about with Hunter got me thinking. It's kind of an interesting thing, talking about what Hunter said about switching off the coach and the player thing is
Yeah.
we actually have a lot of coaches on our team. When you stop and think about it, we've got Hunter, who coaches down at Crowder. Um, I coach here and at the club team in Comets. Luden coaches down at the club team as well. He used to coach at Neosho High School. George Covera coaches over at Carthage, I believe.
Wow.
Domi's doing personal. Dominic Salcedo up top is doing personal trainings in Joplin, Carter Junction area. Caton coaches over at Web City, I think that's
Okay.
correct. I don't know, Hunter and Lou, feel free to jump in. I know
Yeah, it
there's
does.
Des at Joplin.
Yep.
So,
So there is so
Crazy.
much experience in the team. And I think that that's vital with this being a new project, that in those moments when I spoke to the guys at halftime and when Rob spoke with the guys at halftime, um, with the experience we have when games can get emotional like that, it's that experience that allows you to take a breath, calm down. I think the thing that was clear was that if we just played football, they weren't going to be able to keep up with us.
Yeah.
But if we turned it into a track meet, then they could keep up with us. And after halftime, and we got a quick second goal from Sean, who was our man of the match, and that changed everything. We started playing football and really controlled the game. I felt like after that point.
It's awesome. And you all end up with that 3-0 victory. And Luden, coming back to you, last week we kind of talked it, but another clean sheet, and we talked team effort. Backline played great again. Few shots on you. 2 weeks in a row, not allowing a goal though. First, how are you feeling overall physically? And then second, what's helping you to just prepare to continue to play at this level?
yeah, again, static for that. Another shout out. Again, it's a representation of our teamwork and our defensive shape. It just the credit never just goes to me. I always give the credit to everyone on the team, and it's not just the 18, the 20 that make the travel roster. It's the 30 plus guys on the training pitch. We actually have a 5 goalkeeper depth, and we're good. For me to be a starter and have that privilege to lead the team more than right. I take honor for me to wear that, and I take a lot of responsibility for it. And again, I talk to the team, especially when we break out and start in 11 and we circle up, and I let them know I can be the captain that wears the captain band, but I ask for each of them to also be a leader within themselves. And physically, yeah, I'm feeling good. We've started this for since November, training with the team, tryouts. But before that, even I knew this was coming into it. So this is a working project for me to get in the best shape of to be able to represent myself and this community. And for me as a goalkeeper, it's a big responsibility. I think that goalkeepers win championships just like defense do.
Yeah.
Said if they can't score on us, they can't beat us. So that's the mindset going into it. And I think it's a momentum going into this game coming up, because we know it's going to be a hard game. It's going to be a very back and forth game. I believe this one will be everyone that attends to it, the home crowd, they are going to get their money's worth. And it's going to be a great game for both teams, with a lot of experience, a lot of international players, a lot of local players. It's going to be what UPSL is designed for.
All right. You can touch on that. Talk opponent. Y'all host your first home match of the season. Sam, give us the details.
We're excited. We're really excited. We've been spreading the word as much as we can. We've got, I think, a solid fan base in a lot of different cities in the area with Carl Junction and Carthage, Neosho, Joplin, Webb City. I think the support's going to be there. Like I said, there's guys that play on the team that have coaching roles in almost each one of those areas. It's a beautiful thing about football. Once you play as high of a level as you can, and you continue to challenge yourself and play, and then you pass it on. And it's kind of the perfect mix right now of young guys coming in to prove themselves and experienced guys to lead them out on the pitch. It's an awesome thing, and we're excited to put on a show for the crowd in Joplin. I'm hoping the weather hangs out for us. But we'll play rain or shine. Unless there's lightning, we'll definitely have the match. And we're hoping to pack the stands. I did want to touch on talking about experience and just give Hunter another minute here to talk. In a modern game, the CDM position, center defensive mid, is really the anchor of the team. And we've got a couple of great CDMs in Hunter and Henry. and the depth of coming off the bench in that position as well. But I wanted to let Hunter share just a little bit about what got him to where he is now,
Yeah, sure.
and what he accomplished over at CMU, and what it means for us as a team to have his experience in the middle of the pitch. There's no price tag on it. His experience is priceless to the group.
Awesome. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so I graduated from Neosho in 2018, and I took a scholarship offer to Central Methodist up in Fayette. Going into my freshman year, they were ranked number 13 in the nation in the NAIA. But I was kind of in a reserve spot, just on the outside looking in, if you want to call it that. I was getting some training minutes, but it was more of, needing to prove myself, develop, improve, and so in my freshman year, I finally got that opportunity. We won a national championship my freshman year. I believe we went 22, 2-2. Really great season. Can't, nothing to complain about there. Sophomore year, we went back to back, going 25-1. My junior year, we got knocked out in the semifinals by the eventual national champions, Missouri Valley. And in my senior year, we got knocked out in the semifinals as well to the eventual national champions, Kaiser. So, just about as good 4 years as I could have ever asked for in college.
Yeah, that's pretty fun. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, gained a lot of experience, met a lot of great guys, great players, especially. Really pushed me, helped me see the game in a different way. Just to kind of develop those type of things that, like I was talking about earlier, that critical thinking when you're on the field. The further you can see the play ahead of time, whether that's offensively or defensively, the more success you're going to have. With those kind of players that I was playing with and playing against, it was just kind of a necessity. So coming back and being able to share that with a lot of the younger guys I grew up playing on the street with, futsal, pickup games, played with them in high school. They were just a little bit younger than me, and now I get to share the field with them, and try to help them, experience something like that sometime. And this time, maybe it can be us together on the field.
It's awesome. It's awesome. And so now going back to the home opener here too, Sam kind of touch on time, when fans are allowed in,
Yeah,
all that
absolutely.
good stuff.
Yeah, I didn't do a very good job with my marquee there.
No, you're fine.
So game time starts at 7 p.m. Saturday night, April 5th, Joplin High School facility. Gates open at 5:30. You can get tickets online or at the Corner Kick in Neosho. You can also get them at the gate. Season passes are still available for all year. You've got a guaranteed 5 games at home. Season passes are $20, so it'll save you, get you into a game free. We're also gonna have merchandise there. So if you want to pick up a Comets shirt to support from the crowd, that would be awesome. Talked to a few different guys, and we've developed our fan base, Los Cometas. So
Awesome.
we're excited about that. They're going to be the loud and proud Comet fans in the group, and have a little section marked off for them. So expect some noise, and yeah, I don't think it's going to be a fun place to play when you come to our house.
Man,
Coach
people are
Rob said
gonna
the other day, this will be the stadium where dreams come to die.
man, so that's gonna be funny too, because they're not used to hearing a lot of noise across the street at those houses and everything over there.
Oh,
So that's gonna be fun to what's going on? Oh, okay. So maybe that will draw some people in too.
yeah, they should throw a chair in the front yard and enjoy the game.
Or throw a chair over the fence. Never know. But hey, we're excited for it. Thank you all for coming on this week, and now we get to have some fun. Sam, are you ready?
I'm ready. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, appreciate y'all.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah,
Yep.
good luck. Good luck this
Thanks for
weekend, and
having
we'll
me.
see y'all on the pitch.
Hope to get another shutout to be back on here.
Yes, yes. Keep that going. Keep that going. All right. So now we get to move into. Oh,
Oh,
I know you're ready for it, and
I've been seeing it for like 3 episodes in a row. Vermees out. Let's
so I
go.
mean, okay, but I do want to say, and I'm with you, and I've been with you since the end of last year and how things went, but. I, it's kind of that bittersweet moment that you're just as a fan of him. It's like, dang, he's gone, but and his legend that he left there. Obviously, he was able to do some good stuff while he was coaching, but just the last couple of years have just been kind of a horror show to watch. And going from watching him play in the 90s, 2000s there, just to be able to watch him when we were younger was awesome. And that whole group in general. And just to see those guys last year when we went up to that game and then you I'll tell the story. You leave for a little bit and everybody's up there for interviews and you're just like, oh man.
Oh yeah, Benny Feilhaber came
Yeah.
in, and I was
Yeah.
like, no way did I miss that.
And I felt horrible. I didn't even know he was coming up, and then they're just like, "Hey, he's coming. You guys want to go?" And I'm like, "Well, yep. Guess I'll get my camera."
It was my first time, Wes.
No, you're good. And that's one that we'll never forget, and I probably won't let you live
Yeah.
that one down. So, but
Oh man.
yeah, and it was a good experience. He had a lot of great things to say, and that was awesome to see. And then obviously going to that messy game too for me was pretty eye opening too with that championship team that came in and all that stuff that they got to talk and everything. That was pretty cool. But just the history that he has with the team and just everything. And I'm glad that it was a mutual decision because he probably knew that it was coming eventually within the next maybe 5, 10 games. And to do it early now, I don't know if that, I don't know. I don't know where it's going to go. I hope it's a good thing for him. But what are your thoughts on it?
It was probably mutual because we didn't wait another 5 games.
Maybe.
I'm not sure.
Very much. Yeah.
I'm not sure it would have been mutual another 5 games of that. No, I hear what you're saying, and you're right. We need to pay homage to what Vermees did on the field, and on the sidelines for us. I talk about this often when I get a chance on here that football's a soccer's a results business, and just like all major sports, but it really, really, really can be cutthroat. Um, Over in Europe, there was a joke for a long time. Crystal Palace went through like 7 managers in a season, and it's just how do you even keep up? But um, it has to be that way, and that has to come from the fans. They have to demand it. They have to keep the standards high. And I
Boy,
think
did
that
they.
yeah, I think the thing you can fall into is getting comfortable.
Yeah.
Um, and it's not okay to once we stop learning, once we stop growing, we stop moving forward. And I think that that can happen to a club when you stay in the same place too long.
Yeah.
And I think that's what happened. Appreciate Vermees, always will. It was an honor to get to meet him and chat with him.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm ready for something new.
So comes down to coach with you, right? Yeah. Next journey on
Yeah,
the
no,
stop.
I texted you and asked if you thought I should apply and you laughed, so I didn't do it. But I thought hard about it.
No, you should I really I'm going I don't care. Go for it.
No, I've
That's
still
you,
got
man. I don't know how much you talked to me about the process that you have to go through. I don't know how close you are, but if you're close, I'd do it.
not close enough. No, not close enough. Rob could have a shot at it.
Yeah.
He's going after his A license right now, which is all you need. So he's right there. But
Man.
Rob's put in about 20 more years than me, so I've still got some work to put in. I'm learning from Rob every day.
But good decision though overall. Timing was interesting. why not last year at this time when they did the same thing? Obviously, the year before that. Um, Last couple of seasons obviously has been up, but then he gets that contract extension and then now this. So it's like, okay, little too late, but all right.
I think the
And
thing there is, and clubs make this mistake all the time. Manchester
yeah,
United's my club, and we did the same thing. We knew we should have got rid of Ten Hag last year, and he ended up winning the FA Cup trophy. So because he won the trophy, we're like, oh, maybe it's going to be a good year, even though we
yeah,
finished in eighth place, which is completely unacceptable. And so they keep him around. But what happens? This is why it's a problem. Because if you keep him around to start the next year, that means it's their transfer window.
yeah,
And so they bring in their guys. So the guy that so inevitably when you have to cut that guy loose, he didn't get to build over the summer or over here over the winter or
sure,
spring and then start down his path with his process and his system. And you lose so much ground when you make that mistake as a
yeah,
club is from an administration standpoint.
it's true. It's very true. Another club that
Kansas
is
City Current are
not,
still awesome.
huh?
The Current are still awesome.
Yeah, that's what we're going into next, and I mean they're not at the moment struggling, which is great, and got Wood over here knocking on it. In NWSL pauses for the international break. Check on how they're doing here. Obviously 3-0, 9 points. Um, Man, I think it's the Current and the Pride that are the only two teams with 9. Um, One other team that have not taken so Angel City. They have draws though, but they don't have the full 9. So Angel City is going to be one to watch out this year. Um, Washington, the Spirit was defeated by Kansas City, which I thought was a huge win for Kansas City this early in the season. Because that's one down the road that Rodman's only going to get better, even though she's injured right now. She's just going to continue to get better if they choose to rest her the way that they should. Um, and then they played Kansas City played the Royals last weekend, and oh man, they complimented them pretty well. The Current, that is, just on how everything's going, and the Current have jumped into first in the power rankings, which last year I don't think they ever did. I think it was the Pride the whole way, and it's just been interesting to watch the rebuild. You question some of it in the off season, and then you look at it now, and it's like, okay, I see what they did. And last week you talked about the depth that they have at goalkeeper with
Yeah.
Laurel and Lorena, and it's just awesome to see that because honestly, they have 3 goalkeepers and they're prepared for the loss of one, which over the last couple of years you really haven't seen that. They've had AD Franch in there, and then they've just tried to piece it together. Now I thought Almuth would stay another year, maybe 2. I thought that they would re-sign her, but they just kind of let her go, and I'm interested to see what happened there. I don't know if I'll ever find out, but just to watch her come in and do what she did and replace Franch and just did a phenomenal job up until the playoffs, and then once the playoffs hit, she looked like she got a little flustered. Not quite certain because she had a great back line, and it was just unfortunate that a couple of teams got past her, and I think that just got into her psyche. But I don't know. Kansas City still technically sets in second, though, with all that being said, because of Orlando. But the power rankings, again, have them, which I guess don't matter. But Marta's that team on top, and I think it's because they were the reigning champs. So it's good to start off this way. And from what I've read, I think it's like 12% through the season so far. So, but what are your thoughts on this, and just where do you
Yeah,
think they're going?
those power rankings are a lot like FIFA rankings. They don't really mean anyone to
I think
anybody.
that's who it
You
is.
know, USA was in like the top 15th before we played Panama the other day, and they're in like I don't know if they're in the top 100 and they beat us. So power rankings, FIFA rankings, I don't know. I think what I love seeing happening over at the Current is when you watch them. how much they're enjoying their footy. Like
Yeah.
they're smiling, they're all celebrating together. They
Yeah.
look like I was just thinking here with my coach hat on, thinking, how would I feel about the break happening? Would I be happy with how we went into the break, or would I not have wanted the break and to just keep this trade moving? Um, Probably positive always to get players rest.
Yeah.
So a great way to go into the break. But I hope they come out with the same level they've been at, because they're fun to watch and they're having fun playing, and that is a great place to be in as a club.
Yeah. I mean, and I feel like Angie Long and Chris Long have done great at being partners with the Mahomes family. Patrick Mahomes knows what it's like to be in a winning atmosphere, and he's got the knowledge, and I'm sure he talks with them all the time over at the Chiefs organization on what they do to continue to do what they're doing. And I'm sure he honestly does have great insight for what he tells them. And obviously, his wife, Brittany, does what she does. And Angie and Chris, like, they know soccer in and out too, or else they wouldn't have had a daughter who played very well and just highly recommended among the league. Luckily, they were, I mean, I kind of saw it coming, but it's fitting that she ends up in Kansas City and gets to train with the team and gets to be in that culture, that atmosphere, that fun team, and just to see the knowledge that's there. I mean, you look at it now, you've got Ellie Wheeler, who's fantastic at defense. She's very good on that line. Then you got Cook that came in, and you've got Lil Labanta's leadership with her determination and her motor at the points in the game that she has it. And then, I mean, the list goes on. And then she gets to see the keeper and all that stuff. And then on top of that, you've got Mahomes, who's got kids now, and within the next 18 years could potentially be up in these rankings too and go for whatever NFL, MLB, soccer. I mean, their ceiling's high, obviously. Both athletic parents. Brittany was a phenomenal soccer player in college, from what I've heard in high school too. Mahomes played a little bit, but obviously he stuck with baseball and football and ultimately chose football. So, I mean, just the knowledge that's in that room, though, to be able to bring these players in. Can you imagine sitting in that meeting when they're recruiting you and they just have all these like just questions and the like those types of meetings? It's like these guys know what they're talking about and I better have my A game, and then when I get out on the field I better show that I can do it. So kudos to them for doing what they've done and been able to bring in, because I really don't think this team would be who they are without them. I really don't.
I agree. I would like them to get more involved with sporting.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, now that Mahomes has got that a little bit under his belt, maybe he can have
Yeah,
some insight there.
yeah, we could use some. But no, I'm excited. It's a breath of fresh air for sporting. We'll see how it goes. Change is good.
It
Um,
is.
but no, it was interesting what you were talking about Mahomes. Even though he plays American football, but he's a natural leader. And I almost said this when we
Yeah.
were on the chat with Hunter Luden, talking about being a coach but being a player on the field. I was a big fan of Kobe Bryant,
Yeah.
and I've watched all his documentaries. And I almost feel like I remember watching his documentaries thinking like, I'm not sure why Phil Jackson got paid, because and Phil Jackson is a world class Hall of Fame coach, no doubts about it. But Kobe was the coach
Yeah.
on that court. I mean, in and out, everything. And you watch his regime, like the person I'd compare him to is Cristiano Ronaldo in
Yeah.
football. Like their commitment level, their desire, their work ethic, what they put into it, they live it, they breathe it, they study it. They are machines.
He had, and
It
it's
just,
funny that he had to have that twice in his career. Michael
yeah,
Jordan was the other one too, because you could tell
right,
you
yeah,
could tell Phil Jackson was just there to be the mediator whenever things went awry, based on the
yeah.
documentary that they had.
He had the best seats in the house.
He did.
Yeah,
But great
I
coach
love him.
overall, no doubt.
Yeah, yeah, no.
But
bit lucky with who he got on his rosters. But
Yeah, true. But all right, well, on that note, we'll head into the local sports update brought to you by Ghetto Tacos on Friday. Get 10% off all burritos all day long. And I mean, this rainy weather, it's getting cold out. We got snow in the forecast, Sam, on Sunday. Like, come on. But hey,
I've got a I've got a tournament to coach this weekend in Springfield.
I don't envy
So I've
you.
got I've got games starting at 8:30 in the morning on Saturday in Springfield.
Oh,
Last game
that's
ends
gonna be
at
the snow chance.
like 4 o'clock Saturday, and then we got to buzz back to town, get to Joplin for the UPSL home opener, and
Yeah.
then back in Springfield Sunday morning, hopefully for semifinals and finals, lifting a
What a
trophy.
weekend.
So
I'll get to see you at some point, so we'll see.
yeah,
But all right. And yeah, well, get over there, get those burritos, get those tacos. And I think they still have some shirts for grab up there. Proceeds go to Web City Cares. Be sure to get one and check that out. But yeah, softball returns home today to host the oh I don't think it updated on that one again. I feel bad. Going over to Missouri Southern. For some reason, I think my computer's having glitches with an update. Guarantee it. Um, April, we are on the 4th this weekend. And if they do, Missouri Southern baseball, depending on weather and all that jazz, they'll be playing today for sure, 6 p.m. And then Saturday at 4 and Sunday at 1, weather pending on the weekend games. I mean, Friday's the weekend too, but you know what I'm saying. Um, they'll be at St. Joe and they'll be playing at the Griffin baseball field. So, and then for softball on their side, lots of good stuff going on there for Coach Blackney and her group of girls. They are currently sitting at 27-11. Things have kind of kicked into gear for them as of late and on a 2-game winning streak as of now. They won that doubleheader against Northeastern State University last weekend. But this weekend on Sunday, they are going to do another doubleheader, and it's going to be here in Joplin. So, yeah, you got soccer Saturday, and now Sunday you get, if weather pending, obviously, too. We know they're not going to be out there if there's any lightning or tornadic activity, but Pat Lapeer Softball Complex, Missouri Western State University, they're going to be there for a doubleheader. Game 1 begins at 1. Game 2 should be around 3 o'clock, but we'll follow game 1 for sure. And then, yeah, that's all we have on that one. Head into the 2-minute warning brought to you by Trackside Burgers. They're open at 1515 West 10th Street. Go get some weekend barbecue today. This weekend, also, kids eat free on Mondays as long as parents buy an adult entree. Make sure you go in and check them out. Chef Mike's cooking it up all the time. Great crew, great people over there. Be sure to get over there and get that. You won't regret it. Guarantee it. But Carl Junction, they'll take on Collinsville tomorrow at 11 a.m. and then face Webb City baseball at 1 p.m. Webb City will play against Collinsville at 3 p.m. as well. And then Carthage, they'll host the Bill Odell Varsity Fest today against West Plains, and games will conclude tomorrow. And then next, we'll talk Neosho. They'll take on St. Mary Colgan tomorrow at 11 a.m. And then Springdale at 1:30 p.m. in that one. And for Joplin, they're competing in the Tiger Zebra Classic in Oklahoma as they take on Salazar and Pryor today and Wagner tomorrow. Be sure to follow their social medias again with this weather pending. Lots and lots of rain. I mean, we've gone tornadoes at the beginning of the week. Then we go rain, 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 snow, ice, you name it. All 4 seasons here in the 4 states. And yeah, it's going to be a fun ending to the weekend, that's for sure. But doing it other than coaching, you guys doing anything fun family wise in the evening Sunday maybe?
no, Sunday. Hopefully, we're doing semifinals and finals until I don't know, late
It's a
into the
long
afternoon.
long day.
Tomorrow, though, we're hoping to do a little bit of Missouri's Neosho's national pastime, the garage sale, is this
I
weekend. Yeah, it's the biggest thing that happens in Southwest Mo.
mean, it really is.
Hope somebody's got some raincoats at the garage sale out.
Man, kudos to your wife, by the way. I mean, she puts up with all that and she gets to go see a lot
Oh
of
man,
soccer, so
Hannah is she's a saint.
appreciate it.
And I don't know how she yeah, no. It was actually in her vows.
That's
Yeah, that
awesome.
she would share me with soccer. And she said I do. I remind her of that frequently during spring season.
How did you get that in there?
So John,
That's
which is
great.
who you'll be doing the announcing for UPSL for Comets FC with was our John's like a best friend. We've been best friends since we were little kids, and he was our reverend. And John wrote all of our stuff in there, and he threw that in. I don't think Hannah knew it was coming. I had an inkling it was coming. So John's a
Ooh,
good guy, man. He
he,
made sure that we were gonna make it.
that's fantastic. Dude, they do a doc on you at some point. That's gonna be great.
I had some
Well,
cool things I wanted to share that I thought was cool because we talk about Southern a lot.
yeah.
Um, so on the Arkansas Comets is our club team that I coach at. They we have a kiddo Tino Lay who is on our O8 team is currently at a trial at St. Louis City
Oh wow,
SC.
that's awesome.
Yeah, he's on a 3-day trial. He's a U17 player for the club team. So he's up there trying to get a contract to join the MLS.
That's really
And
cool.
then one of our girl players, Reagan McIntosh, that plays on our 0706 team, just signed for Missouri Southern. So we'll get to pay attention to her and watch her next year with the girls team.
Yeah, that's gonna be great. I
Yeah.
definitely hope to cover that too. Get back in there and get some soccer coverage coming up. They do their spring season, right? Or no, fall. Their
No, they'll
fall.
be fall. Yeah, they'll be fall, but they should be pretty busy right now with spring season. I would
Yeah.
think doing off season stuff and playing games.
Awesome. Well, appreciate you coming on again. Good luck this weekend. Safe travels for sure. And looking forward to it. Take care. And we'll see you
Thanks,
next
sir.
week on the Sports Timeout. Space Timeout. Sports Timeout. But
All
off
right,
into
see
the
you, Wes.
space we
Thanks,
go.
man.
Yeah, no problem. Take care.